So my husband Doug and I'm more of a hip hop girl. Yep. He's more of Depeche Mode.
Oh yeah, about the same time.
Yeah, I'm sure you
of
like
course.
the same music.
Of course.
But Prince, in the Venn diagram of things, Prince, in the Venn diagram of things, Prince.
Kamala Harris is the fakest presidential candidate anyone's ever seen, and I'm going to tell you why. She keeps going off this whole idea that whenever she's president, she wants to do this, or whenever she's president, she wants to do that. Are you not vice president right now? Anything that you say you want to get done could probably get done right now as vice president, but she chooses not to. She deliberately chooses to hold out on the American people.
Giving you facts that the mainstream media is obviously not going to give you because they're too busy transforming Kamala from a national embarrassment to a national treasure overnight without even pretending to care about what her policies are. What are they? Her beliefs, how she even got to where she is today, and I find that to be the most incredible example of how potent propaganda really is. First of all, Scamala, easy to decipher. Fits her perfectly. Though you wouldn't know that if you're listening to corporate media mask her corruption and try and redefine her while making Americans forget that she was the most liberal senator and is the current vice president that for the last 3.5 years could have done exactly what she's campaigning on. She's literally running a campaign against her own administration, and she thinks the American people are too stupid to notice. Nobody voted for her in a primary. Her running mate has used stolen valor for political gain, and the same media that told us Joe Biden is as sharp as a tack are now trying to tell us that Kamala is the answer to all our problems. Get real.
Ah, Dougie, there they are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know you want those.
You see corn nuts over there,
Isn't this
Tim?
it?
Oh, yeah, that's
the big.
There you go.
That's funny. You see corn nuts over there?
Okay, so let's get into some of this stuff going on with Kamala Harris, the fakest candidate in American history. So we're going to dig into some of the stuff that's been going on with her campaign, the crowds, the conversations she's been having, some of her interactions with her supporters. We're going to get into it. So let's start by getting some commentary. We just saw the gas station video. So let's start by getting some commentary. Let's look at this Newsmax clip about what the hell was going on at this gas station.
We've seen Trump do these impromptu stops, whether it be a Chick-fil-A in Georgia, whether it be the bodega in New York City. He's so authentic. He's so good with the people. They cleared out the sheets here, and it's so cringeworthy to watch her and Waltz talk about Doritos. And also, I feel like it's copying the Trump playbook. Just like they stole no tax on tips. They're trying to do something that works for Trump, and it clearly doesn't work for them. Why are they doing this? It looks awful, Matt.
Yeah, so I saw this in Iowa. Hillary Clinton did something similar at a coffee house where they made a fake little table of people, and she sat there and talked to them. And this is what the Democrats do. They act like they're of the people, but the reason why they had to clear out that sheets is because the people would have given her a piece of their mind over what that bag of Doritos costs compared to now as under Trump.
This 60-year-old woman walks around talking about, give me some Doritos. She's not eating Doritos. I'm surprised she even knows how to pronounce it. But how many older women, grandmas, do you know going to gas station picking up Doritos? Stop it, man. But that's not the only fake thing about her. She's been paying Google, and Google might get into trouble for this. They've actually been declared a monopoly and are probably going to get broken up eventually, but that's a different video. But Kamala has been paying Google to put headlines that favor her at the top. So, when you Google something and the first 2 or 3 options say sponsored. So she's paying Google to dig into all of these articles, Axios, ABC News or somebody, and put all of these favorable headlines. So when you Google something about Kamala, before you actually get to what the hell you're actually searching for, you're going to see, oh, Kamala, she's so great. Oh, Kamala, she's special. She's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I think we need some type of election regulation against this, because she's basically trying to make her appearance seem more favorable than it is, because voters are seeing this like, damn, everybody does like Kamala. Am I the only one who don't like her? So a lot of voters are going to feel left out, and they're going to jump to Kamala because they believe that the majority supports Kamala based on these Google searches, but it's fake. And Trump even called them out. But the Democrats are completely okay with that. So let's actually look at a Democrat defending Kamala paying Google to make it seem like she's more popular than she is in order to deceive voters. See, if it was Trump doing it, it'd be a big problem. All hell break loose. All the networks would be calling it out. They'd be talking about boycott Google. But Kamala's doing it completely okay.
During the break, in terms of, is this something that's normal? Is this something that campaigns have been using? How do you defend kind of the...
Yeah. Well, this is part of paid advertising. I mean, if you are somebody who's reading a news outlet on your phone, you'll see embedded ads come up sometimes in those stories that, for on first glance, look like a story by the outlet you're reading. But if you don't, if you look at it more closely, it says sponsored content. I mean, this is something that the search engines do. It's part of the way they generate ad revenue. So there's nothing about it that is violates their terms or is in any way unethical. I mean, this is part of the way that paid advertising works. And, you'll see it. It's certainly not just political campaigns who do it. I mean, just as I am reading things online, sometimes I'll double, I'll sort of like double look at something because it feels like it's an authentic piece of content. And then you see it's paid. So it is incumbent on the viewer, the reader, the consumer to have a discerning eye, not just on political content, but on...
Now let's get into another fake thing about her. This is a speech right here that she was giving about price gauging, as she said, because she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. It's price gouging, but she has no idea what that even means. She's reading off a script. So let's get into this video. I'm actually going to react to this one with you because I want you to see something that I noticed watching this video. Did you see that? So she's just taking cues. She's standing in front of a camera with a green screen. We're going to get to the green screen in a second, but she's standing in front of a camera taking cues. You see how she nodded her head? She's taking cues from her handlers. Now she's looking over here to this big ass teleprompter that they have and trying to make sure that she doesn't F it up.
So believe me, as president, I will go after the bad actors.
Okay. This crowd is fake. These people behind her. Now you might ask yourself, why is it blurry? Well, it's blurry because it's fake. And a lot of times when you create CGI crowds or even AI crowds, the faces, the eyes, it just looks off because the technology can't 100% get it right. Unless you pay for a very expensive Hollywood level CGI artist, which they're probably not doing, then you're not going to get the faces, the human beings, the build of them to look the way that they should look. So what's the other option? Make it blurry. So look right here. Just look at the outline of her body. You can even see part of a shadow right here. It's not even good CGI, but you're just watching this 1 minute clip, not really thinking too deeply into it, maybe more focused on what she's saying. You're not going to pick up on it. So you think that she has a crowd behind her and people are cheering. She has all these people loving everything that she says. But let's listen to this fake ass crowd a little bit. Taking more cues.
And I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food.
Now her production team is saying, okay, we need you to look around as if you have a crowd pan around like you're looking at somebody. There's nothing but her handlers, maybe some producer there who's maybe one of her handlers also, and the cameraman with the teleprompter. That's the only thing there. But they're trying to make it seem like a massive crowd.
My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies that exploit crisis.
Wait, what does the sign say right here? I know it's blurry, but are these even words? I can't make out anything right here, but it's all fake though. It's all fake. All right, so let's get into some of these fake crowds. So the biggest one going around, and there's some controversy going on about this, is when she went to that airport tarmac and allegedly had over 10,000 people, enthusiastic people there to see her. So she and sweet boy weirdo tampon Tim Walsh, they got out the plane and they had a massive crowd right there on the tarmac, right by Air Force 2. But the controversy comes with these photos. People are saying you can look at the engine, the reflection on the engine. There's nobody there. You can look at the bottom of the plane, the blue painting area. You can see the reflection of the concrete, but you don't see any people there because it's fake. But we got propaganda going on in full swing. Some people are saying, well, maybe the crowd wasn't close enough to the jet engine. That's why you can't see anybody there, even though you can see a building way in the background from the jet engine where the crowd should be blocking, but it's hard to tell. Now let's look at this little ABC clip because they had their expert check out the photo because Trump was talking about it. So they had their expert look at it in order to debunk Trump. Let's take a look.
As evidence, Trump posted this photo over the weekend of a massive crowd at a Harris rally in Michigan, which he claims was created with AI. But that is fiction. There are numerous videos from last week's event at an airport hangar near Detroit, which was attended by thousands of people who spilled out onto the tarmac near Air Force Two. UC Berkeley digital forensics expert Hani Farid posted on LinkedIn that he analyzed the photo and found no evidence that it was AI generated or digitally altered. He also said the text on the signs and the plane show no evidence of AI.
Now notice that this evidence that ABC showed, these additional videos, they were extremely grainy and blurry. Why is that? Were they also CGI? And they're talking about, oh, we had an expert. Let me tell you something about these experts. These experts from the left aren't worth shit. We had experts say that Hunter Biden laptop wasn't real. We had experts with C-19, Fauci, and all those fools. We had all those public health experts telling us to do horrific shit. So ABC, your experts aren't worth a damn. This photo is probably fake, but it's still a lot of controversy. I can't be 100% on this, but I will say more likely than not. I'm leaning in the direction that this is fake. I'm about 90% sure it is. Now let's look at another fake ass photo that they released. So she couldn't fill up her auditorium. During the actual event, they actually had a black tarp blocking those empty seats. But after the event, they did post-production editing and put a crowd up there. They filled it up. So the Harris campaign released all these videos. Look at this massive crowd I got. No, your crowd is fake. The majority of these people here are CGI. This entire campaign is fake, man. If she's so popular, if she's the greatest thing since sliced bread, if she's the person that we're all supposed to be going for, if she's supposed to save democracy, why in the hell does she need to fake crowds? And on top of that, the people who are there, half of them are paid. People going around saying they've been paid $50 to go to a rally, $150. People saying this is the easiest $150 I ever made. All I had to do was just show up. I didn't even have to stay for the whole thing. I just showed up for a few minutes and I left and I collected my $150. Paying people to attend rallies. Then the empty seats that you have, you CGI fill them. Everything about this woman is fake. She's a full-blown chameleon in every way. Faking her background, faking her race, faking what type of music she likes. Everything is fake. Now we're going to get into this other controversial thing. So she went to a diner. I think that was in Pennsylvania. She paid the diner to kick out the regularly occurring customers. The diner kicked them out spontaneously and filled the diner with a fake paid-for Kamala Harris crowd so Kamala can go in and shake hands. Look at me, I just went to a diner, an everyday rural diner, and shook people's hands, and one of the kids had my book, was reading it. It was fake. Nobody was eating, and Kamala just shows up to a diner, and some little kid just happened to be reading a Kamala Harris book. Perfect timing for a photo op. But that diner is also going to be in some trouble because they kicked out their paying customers to accommodate some fake Kamala Harris BS. Now, let's do another video reaction because Kamala, this is when she allegedly called Tim Walz to tell him that he's the one who's been chosen to be the vice president, to be with her on the ticket. So they act as if they didn't have this conversation before. It was completely scripted. And she sounds like a terrible actress. She sounds like somebody in middle school drama class trying to read a script and sound real, but it's horrific. Let's take a listen.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's
I want you to do this with me. Terrible acting.
Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
Well, let me tell you, I have just the utmost respect for you. I have really enjoyed our work together. You understand our country. You have dedicated yourself to our country in so many different and beautiful ways. And we're going to do this. We're going to...
This is hard to listen to, man. The level of cringe is off the charts.
Win. And we're going to unify our country and remind everyone that we are fighting for the future for everyone. So let's get out there and get this done, okay?
Let's do it. Do the work in front of us. Let's win this thing.
You know what? They're probably not even on the phone together. It's kind of like that robocall with the Obamas, that pre-recorded message. And Kamala was pretending to be on the phone with the Obamas. So now let's get into some more conversation with Tampon Tim. You know, the guy who wants to trans the kids and put tampons in boys' bathrooms. The guy who sicked the police and had them shoot paintballs at his own citizens when they wouldn't go inside the house during his C-19 curfews. This guy, Tampon Tim. So let's get into extended, fake-ass, extremely scripted conversation between Tampon Tim and drunk-ass Kamala.
Like I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota, you know.
I'm the first vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
Well,
You
trying
know,
to expand
we'll
my
figure that-
my food knowledge.
You know what? We've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, I
I
called
was
you,
hoping
Tim.
maybe we wouldn't have to.
I called you, Tim.
Yes.
You didn't answer, Tim.
I know.
What happened?
The most important call of my life. It popped up, and we didn't recognize the caller ID, and it went to voicemail.
Hi, this is Jim. I'm not able to answer.
There you go.
Possible. Thank you.
Hey, Tim, it's Kamala. I really want to talk to you. So, Tim, what's your relationship to music?
Yeah. For me, the transformational piece of music was Bruce Springsteen's The River,
Okay.
which is a journey. You know all the tracks.
Yeah.
But how about you?
I grew up, so all these albums here, I mean, Aretha. My mother had every Aretha album, and like our Christmas gift to my mother, her birthday gift was always like, what's the latest Aretha Franklin record?
So it's on vinyl in your house as a
all of it.
Wow.
All that and Stevie. And then Miles, and my dad loved jazz, and so it was Miles, it was Coltrane. One of my personal favorite musicians for when I was younger was Prince.
Oh.
And of course from your estate.
Yeah.
And he, in fact, I'll tell you, so my husband Doug and I'm more of a hip hop girl.
Yep.
He's more of Depeche Mode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, about the same time.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah,
you
no,
and
no,
he
of
like the same
course.
music.
Of course.
But Prince, in the Venn diagram of things, Prince, he and I love the same, because, talk about how Prince was with that guitar, man. I almost know by heart every one of those songs.
I feel like a trip to Paisley Park is going to happen here if the staff
it's on my bucket list, I'll tell you that.
People want to be part of something that's winning. They want to be part of something that's good, and they want to be part of something that everybody can be a part of. And I kind of like the idea of being a little bit behind.
Well, I'm looking at Coach Walls right now. I'm looking at Coach Walls.
This conversation went on forever. I had to chop it down as much as I could, but damn. If it was a real conversation, you would need to keep cutting the camera angles constantly. It's a terrible, low-quality Hollywood-type production. And this conversation was a stereotyping disgrace. Oh, I like white guy tacos. I don't put seasoning on them. I just eat beef and cheese. Aren't some of the best chefs in the world white? Where's all this stereotype? Anyway, I'm not even going to get into that crap, man. It's just a disgrace. She's over here talking about, I was listening to Aretha Franklin. They happened to be in Detroit, happened to be in some location. They got Aretha Franklin pictures and albums and stuff because it was pre-planned. It was written in the script. and the production team put this room together before they even walked in there. But she's talking about she was listening to, no, she wasn't listening to Aretha Franklin. She completely dishonored and disgraced Prince, because I seriously doubt she was listening to him too. And what happened to smoking weed? Didn't you say back in the 80s, before Snoop and Tupac were out, you were listening to Snoop and Tupac smoking weed? Now all of a sudden, no, I was listening to Aretha Franklin. You know what she was listening to growing up? Because she grew up in Canada with an Indian mother. I think it's very, very likely that she grew up listening to Bollywood, maybe some regional Indian music, maybe some Indian pop, something like that. Aretha Franklin, stop lying. Just stop it, man. But people are believing this. A lot of people believe it, but even more people know that it's fake as hell. A completely scripted campaign. Worse than Joe Biden. She's more scripted than Joe Biden. That's why they don't want her to do interviews. They don't want anybody to talk to her that's not a paid actor. She was at some place shaking hands and stuff, but they had a rope, right? So the real people were behind the rope. All her paid actors that she was shaking hands and taking pictures with were fake as hell. And the reason why she does is because she knows nobody likes her. If she walked into a diner with regular everyday people, she'd get cussed out. Nobody would want to shake her hand. And we know when she shows up to a city without paying people, nobody shows up. Nobody cares. Because she's a lying chameleon. And half the time drunk. But let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.